All right, I'm going to talk a little bit about what students see and what they can do. You as a teacher can set exactly what icons can be up. I'll show you those in another video where you can hide and show different icons. There's a bunch of different math ones, there's science, and a bunch of different language arts. Right now, because we're on informational, I have a little grammar one here for language, reading skills informational, writing workshop. I do test prep, and if I assign a test. Students can see their progress down here through progress. So I can see what percent I got on each lesson as a student. I can see if I got them right or wrong, what the correct answer was, how much time I spent, 3 seconds. So I was just clicking through it just to kind of make a model here. But this is nice because if parents wonder, you can tell them that if their student logs in or if they log in as the student, which there are instructions for that where parents can log in as a parent of their student, they can kind of see how much time they're spending, what did they miss, how was it explained to them better, and so on. So that's kind of nice. Also, you have time, so they can see how much time that they've logged on when they were at school, when they were at home, and other. So those can be set in settings as well. You can set up goals. I have not, don't believe, set up any goals for my students yet. Behavior vibes are kind of nice. When I'm in class, I can send a vibe out to certain kids if I can see that they're not doing well and it pops up on their screen. Maybe like, hey, get back to work, or you're doing a great job. Students earn badges. So I don't know, they think that's kind of cool when they complete things, and they also can win some game time, and you can set up what they have to do, like how many they have to get correct, how long they have to be on in order to gain minutes of game time. So it's a nice little incentive. But when you are in a module as a student, a lot of times if I'm in the middle of one of these, I kind of, my students may want to rewatch a video or whatnot. So I just want to kind of show you what the important icons are.
Which of the following
So this one had already been started.
So
if I want to rewatch the tutorial, I just go to the camera.
In this lesson, you will learn how to analyze how informational texts.
So that's kind of nice. The tutorials can be rewatched even if you're in the middle of a lesson. Only thing is you can't pause them, but you can watch them. Even though you can't pause them, this button right here is called the table of contents. So I can get notes and get information from different screens. Since you can't really go backwards, this is your kind of way to go backwards. And usually this first one will be like the video. So if you wait on it, it'll keep going through whatever the video was, but you could watch that through the tutorial. See, that's how that does that. But it also shows you your questions. And if you've already answered the questions, it will tell you what you got on the questions and why it was wrong if you got it incorrect, which is kind of nice. A lot of times too, when you're going to answer questions, you can turn the sound on or off because it will read to you automatically.
Which of the following graphic organizers would be best suited to showing the relationships in our historical account of the events leading up to the French Revolution?
Which will bring up your notes again that were in the video that pertain to that question, which is kind of nice. Although I do, as I show in another video, make guided notes sometimes. I take screenshots of these so the kids can have a hard copy and kind of write stuff on them. But they are available here under hint. They can also zoom. It tells them how to do that kind of stuff. So once again, once you're in these questions, which is kind of nice, they have regular, multiple choice, or choose all that apply. So this one says, which of the following graphic organizers would be best suited to showing the relationship in a historical account of the events leading up to the French Revolution? So if you see sequence chart, maybe that probably would be the correct answer. You check, you get it right.
Read the passage. Which of the following graphic organizers would best show the relationship between the Hunger Games books and the Hunger Games films?
This is kind of nice because they do give relevant things that the kids usually have read or heard of or seen the movie. And if they do get it wrong, and this one says the relationship between, so it would be Venn diagram, but I'm going to put a sequence chart. It gives them a chance to try again. If they still get it wrong, it explains why. So it's important they listen to this part.
Venn diagram. Venn
This is
diagrams
where they
are
learn
used to
from their
compare and
mistakes.
contrast two things. Since the passage identifies similarities and differences between the books and films, a Venn diagram would be ideal.
Let's see, so since we have done that in the table of contents, that one may show up. That's not the one that we're on right now. Anyway, that one would normally show up down here if you got it correct or incorrect. So those are what some of these things do here. Test prep is pretty nice. I like that a lot because you can do math, language, literature, reading skills, informational. So let's say, for instance, I'll go to math. It'll quiz you first to see what you know.
Welcome back. Ready to start your review?
And whatever you don't know, it'll give you lessons on.
Welcome to your review. Blue problems, check your skills. Green problems, provide more practice. If you miss a blue problem, you get a teach me and a few green problems for extra practice.
And that's with videos, which is nice. So converting fractions to decimals is what they're going to work on with me today.
Write the fraction 3/6 as a decimal.
So I'm just going to kind of go through
Write the fraction
and click whatever students would really try, so they wouldn't
the
be
to a fraction in simplest form.
doing something for no reason. Okay, so now I'm on green, so they're going to teach me.
Fraction by
and once again, there's the
finding the place
video,
value of the last
hint, scratch pad.
non-zero digit. With 0.8, it's the 10th place value, so you use 10 in the denominator. With 0.45, it's the 100th place value, so use 100 in the denominator. 0.012, it's the 1,000th place value, so use 1,000 in the denominator. And 0.8000, notice that the last non-zero digit is just 0.8, so it's the 10th place value, and place 10 in the denominator. And place any digits after the decimal into the numerator. The 0.8 becomes 8 in the numerator. Drop the point in front of the 8. And so the numerator for 0.45 is 45. The numerator for 0.012 is just 12. And the numerator for 0.8000 is just 8. Reduce the fraction to its simplest form. 8/10 becomes 4/5. 45 1/100 becomes 9/20. 12 1,000 equals 3/250. And 8/10 becomes 4/5.
All right, so it says the end, so I know that I can go on and then I'll have questions.
Convert the decimal to a fraction in simplest form.
If I need to rewatch the video, like I said, I could click there.
Convert a decimal.
If I needed a hint, I'd have my notes there. If I want a scratch pad, something to write on to help me out, I've got it there. So now I know they said to have a 10 on the bottom, and I should have an 8 at the top. I just learned this, yay. Oops. So no, I did it wrong. That's funny. So 0.8 should be 8/10. Oh, and then I have to do it in simplest form. See, I didn't pay attention. So I know then I have to do 4/5.
Convert the decimal to a fraction
in the simplest form. So 0.45. And they're giving you the ones up here so that you can kind of really practice and understand. So it's really 9/20, so when simplest form. But if I needed to do that on the scratch pad, I could.
Convert the decimal to a fraction in simplest form.
So that's kind of nice. And then they will welcome you back next time that you come. Same thing with, well, here, I would like to
Welcome.
actually do grammar. My favorite language is the grammar. Okay, so I know the blue. So we're doing gerunds. They're going to see what I know about gerunds.
Identify the gerund in the sentence. If there is no gerund, select none of the above. Your constant complaining helps no one.
Okay, I know what a gerund is, but if you don't, then if you get it wrong, let's see, they tell you, they explain it. And then they give you
A verbal looks
a
like
lesson
a
on it.
verb, but it functions as a different part of speech.
So we know a gerund is a
For
verbal. It's a
example,
verb ending in
in the
ing.
sentence, running is my least favorite
And
activity.
it'll give you a whole
Running
tutorial
is a
on it.
verbal. I know the word
And I'm
run
not going to play the
looks
whole
like a
thing,
verb.
but for
There are 3 types of
to
verbal.
give you another tutorial.
There are
You can go back to them here if you need. And then they
Gerunds
ask,
function as blank.
so I know that they function now because I would have learned from the tutorial. Nouns, they
Gerunds
always end in
blank.
ing.
Identify
So
the gerund
if I
in the
get this one wrong
sentence.
though,
If there is no
say I
gerund,
put
select
adventure
none of
instead
the
of
above.
traveling,
Traveling will satisfy your desire for adventure.
and I still get it wrong, it'll explain why.
The correct answer is traveling. We know traveling is a gerund because it looks like a verb. It ends in ing, and it is used as a noun.
Okay,
Identify
so
the
then I
gerund
get a
in the
chance
sentence.
to do it again.
If there is no gerund, select none of the above. The workers finished the building of Edmund's castle last week. Identify the gerund in the sentence. If there is no gerund, select none
That's
of the
not
above.
used as a noun,
Annabelle
so
was drinking coffee last night.
I had to do that.
Identify the gerund in the sentence.
Hiking is used as a
there is no
noun, so I'll
gerund,
choose that.
select none of the above. Identify the gerund in the sentence. If there is no gerund, select none of the above.
So they make sure
Sam
you really
quickly gets
understand the
tired of watching
difference.
TV if there is nothing good on.
Okay, and then they give you a score. And then they want you
Identify the
to,
gerund in the sentence.
if you don't meet
If there is no gerund,
the percent
select
that you,
none of the above. Your constant
check.
complaining helps no one.
They help you do this again. So that's why I think as a teacher, it's kind of nice to select for these individual modules, the content that you're doing for the particular 9 weeks, because through test prep, the kids will be tested on what they already know and what they don't know as far as catching them up individually. So for me, in my computer stations, I know that my kids will be doing, for instance, I've already taken screenshots and set up for quarter 3. These are the skills we're working on. So I've already assigned these. So I've done that in the individual module. But if I want to catch them up on things that they don't know that we're not necessarily doing in this unit, they would do that through test prep. So I might do an every other day or like 3 days on, 2 days on for test prep in my computer station. And my students then know what buttons to push, what we're working on. Because usually if they're working on these skills, like in reading informational, they're getting prior knowledge, they're getting notes, they're getting videos, they're practicing, and then that's usually what then I hit in the direct instruction small group with them. So they get another round of it. So that's how I suggest you kind of set up doing what you're working on, particularly in the unit of study through the regular modules, and then catching up what students don't know very well in test prep. Next, I'll show you what the teacher can see as far as a great accountability tool for the students, down to how many seconds they've taken on each question, what their answers are, how long that they're actually on there, so you can tell if you're in direct instruction with some students and your student is in computer station not really working. You can pull up how many minutes a day that they're on there for some great accountability purposes.